Coming up in our second episode in stunning West Norway, we take an incredible train journey on the iconic Flåmsbana, the Flåm Railway. Listed as one of the top scenic railways in the world, we enjoy 20 kilometres of beautiful scenery, tunnels cut through mountains, and a steep gradient climb to reach the snowy peak at Myrdal Station. This railway journey is a must when you visit this region. Join us for highlights of the experience, the history and challenges behind its building, and practical tips so you can follow in our footsteps and enjoy a wonderful day out in Flåm. We've been staying on the outskirts of Voss, 2 hours east of Bergen. If you watched last week, you'll have seen our beautiful cabin and a tour of the Hardanger Fjord region, with the stunning waterfalls and villages. 1 hour north of Voss is somewhere equally beautiful, at the innermost point of the Aurlandsfjord, the village of Flåm. These famous views are known around the world, and travellers flock here by car, train and organised cruises to see for themselves its stunning beauty. It's the third most visited attraction in Norway. Now it was our turn to experience it. We drove to Flåm on a misty but clear morning, a drive that was far from boring, with some wonderful scenery, similar to what we had seen when driving through the fjords. A number of tunnels and winding roads take you past lakes, rivers and through mountains to reach what otherwise would be a remote area. In fact, before the railway and road expansion, Flåm was only accessible by boat. Visiting in late February, low season, meant much quieter roads and plenty of spaces to park as we arrived in Flåm. You should ensure you pre-book your seats on the train well in advance. It can be extremely busy at times, especially if a cruise ship has docked. You could find the whole train is booked out. Check the website for all the latest information on train times and ticket prices. The visitor centre will help you with any questions or needs before you board the train. We selected the first one running at 9 AM, but there are several services throughout the day. If you have time, enjoy a walk around the shops and grab a tasty pastry from the Flåm Bakery. They are delicious and fill a gap if you missed breakfast. I can highly recommend the cinnamon roll. You can also visit the Railway Museum to give you an insight into how they overcame the immense challenges of building the railway. It's free to visit, and while small, is full of insightful information and artifacts. There was no assigned seating, but that might be different if it were busy or you're on an organised tour. We were so lucky that our service was more than half empty, adding to our excitement for the imminent departure. At 9 AM sharp, we pull out of Flåm railway station, beginning our 1 hour scenic journey to Myrdal. There are a number of small stations on the route, which I believe are request stops used for hikers, cyclists and locals. The Bergen to Oslo Railway, also known as the Bergen Line, was built between 1894 and 1909 to connect the two largest cities. This line passes through Myrdal, where we are heading now. To aid in the construction of the mountain section of the line, a Navis road called Ralla Road was built so that goods and materials could reach Myrdal via ships docked at Flåm. The train line runs right next to it. This access road continues across the mountains to Finse and Haugastol, and is today a famous summer cycling and hiking route called Rallarvigen.
Below us, to the right, you can see Flom Church, completed in 1667. The church is located in the old town centre. You can also see Mount Vidmasnosi, 1,263 metres above sea level.
The opening of the Bergen Line created a great deal of horse-drawn traffic from Flom, transporting goods including fish, timber and agricultural products from the farms and villages in the surrounding areas to the mainline railway station at Myrdal. From here they could be transported to other parts of Norway. A branch line to Flom was debated over many years, and surveyors looked at a number of alternatives due to the difficult terrain. Finally, in 1924, construction started. 20 tunnels were planned, 18 of which had to be carved out by hand. The line would also include steam and electric trains. Quite a few people from the area were employed, either as transport workers or as railway workers building the line, local farmers who had little experience in railway construction. The first tunnel was completed in 1926, the last in 1935. The work was far from safe. One man lost an arm and 2 men died. Drilling dust was another issue, and many more workers probably died of silicosis. The laying of rails did not start until 1936, and the outbreak of World War II would impact the building process. In 1940, goods trains were hauled by steam locomotives on sections of the line. Electric locos were delivered, and the hydroelectric power plant at Kjusfossen waterfall was built. When Germany occupied Norway, they forced the continuation of building work. 5 kilometers of track still needed to be completed. They saw the benefits of having it up and running for military reasons. They would complete the electrification of the line. In 1941, passengers were permitted to travel on steam services, and in the same year the route became known as the Flåmsbana. Following the war, and by 1947, a new EL9 electric locomotive arrived, along with the aluminium carriages. Steam services would come to an end, and the passenger numbers increased as more people came to ride the train as a tourist attraction. Since then, numbers have continued to grow, organised cruises have become popular, and the introduction of a new road between Bergen and Oslo in 1992 meant more people could get here easily, making it today the third most popular attraction in Norway. One of the most challenging aspects of the construction was the steep incline of the railway. It has a maximum gradient of 1 in 18, that's 5.5%, which means that for every 18 metres travelled, the railway climbs 1 metre in height. This gradient is among the steepest in the world. To help with this challenge, one of the tunnels, Vatnahalsen, has a 180-degree turn inside. This horseshoe-shaped curve allows the trains to climb the steep gradient by zigzagging back and forth up the mountain. The longest tunnel on the line is Nolly Tunnel, 1,341.5 metres long. That's 4,401 feet. The train now makes its one and only scheduled stop at the Schussfossen waterfall, which in winter is frozen over, but is impressive in the spring melt. The hydroelectric plant obscured by the train harnesses the water that flows all year round, even if we can't see it, and powers the railway line, fed by the Rheinunger Lake a few hundred metres above. This 5-minute break is quick, so be ready to get on and off for photos. We now pass through the snow shelter tunnels we highlighted earlier, which are on an artificial shelf on the cliff which falls hundreds of metres down. Continuing the steep climb, we complete the hairpin turns inside the mountain. We cut out most of the tunnels as you can't really see anything whilst inside. Reaching almost above the mountain peaks, the sunshine bathes the train as we travel through the ever deeper glistening snow. We are almost at our destination, but have one more request stop to make.
Neste stopp Vatnahalsen, avstigning til venstre. Ved opphold på Vatnahalsen minner vi om at det strengt forbudt å krysse jernbanelinja utenom planovergangen.
During your stay at Vatnahalsen, we would like to inform you that crossing the railway tracks outside the level crossings is strictly forbidden.
With a hotel, access to the Rallarvegen for cycling and hiking, and Scandinavia's longest zip line with a span of 1,381 metres, this is a popular stop all year round.
Neste og siste stopp Myrdal stasjon, avstigning til venstre.
We are now arriving at Myrdal Station, 882 metres above sea level, and completing this incredible feat of engineering that took 20 years to create. We have 30 minutes to check out the train and look around the station before it takes us back to Flom. The main line platform links to the Bergen and Oslo line, and you can make connections here. Of course, you can come from Bergen or Oslo to experience the heritage ride, as so many people do. You can look up a combined ticket for all your travels here. In fact, when we leave Bergen for Oslo later in the series, this train arriving now will be our service on another of Norway's most beautiful railway journeys. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss this 7-hour stunning journey between the cities. It's time for us to return to Flom, and as we spoke all the way up, we'll let you enjoy the scenery and brief highlights on the way down. When we arrive back in the village, we'll share what's coming next time, as we explore more of the wonderful things to do around this area. There are many other beautiful things to see. After a wonderful trip on this iconic railway, let's look ahead to next week. There is so much more to see in and around Flom, and in our next video we'll share more incredible sights you won't want to miss. We'll take a drive into the old village of Flom and visit the local church built in 1667. Take a stunning windy drive to a cave waterfall from where we shot those wonderful clips of the Flåmsbana making its way up the line. We'll visit the shops and walk to the shores of the Ulandsfjord before taking a hair-raising drive up the mountain to see it all from above at the famous Stegerstein viewpoint. Bringing us back down to earth, we'll find a small quiet village with the most dramatic fjord scenery. It was something quite special. So make sure you are subscribed and join us again next time on The Memory Seekers. Thank you for watching.